Hey guys, welcome to another video on the Inside Spurs channel. Happy Tuesday afternoon. Hope you're well, hope you're looking after yourself and you're keeping warm. It's a pretty brutal cold one out there today. So look after yourself, wrap up warm, and hopefully got some transfers that might keep you a little bit warm. So we do finally have a breakthrough in the Radu Dragusin. We'll call it a saga, because I think it's a bit of a saga, as well as an update around Bayern Munich and their interest in Eric Dier, as well as a new club appearing in their interest for Eric Dier. So plenty to get into, plenty to talk about. I just want to say, if you're new, subscribe. You're very much welcome to join us for the journey. And let's jump in. And this, let me read you the first one from Fabrizio Romano. He then developed on this, okay, so bear with me. And he said, exclusive, Genoa are now prepared to accept Jed Spence as part of the Radu Dragusin deal, with 25 million euro fixed fee and 5 million euros add-ons. It would be a loan move until the end of the seasons. Negotiations continue today in order to get Dragusin deal done, with Spence included. So, I didn't expect Spence to be a part of the deal, to be honest. But then I think back and, we talked about how Spence is likely to be moved in the next few days. I didn't expect him to be a part of this deal, but now I think about it, potentially is something that you would probably have put two and two together, I guess. Look, I'm not going to sit here and say I watch a ton of Genoa, okay? I don't. I watched a little bit of Dragusin a couple of weeks ago. I didn't watch the whole match. I watched 10 to 15 minutes. Watch highlights and things like that. So I don't know if Genoa suits Jed Spence and the style of play that he, would want to flourish in, right? But we also know we sent him to one of the biggest clubs in the Championship and it didn't work. So maybe a move abroad actually could be beneficial. Now, it's always difficult with a move abroad with, new languages, new cultures. It's never easy. I think, we look at footballers going, go abroad, it's fine. It's not the same. If we look at it in a footballing sense, it might be, but there's a lot that has to happen for you to transition into that new culture, right? But on the Radu Dragusin deal, 30 million euros with 5 million add-ons. I think the add-ons, you always expect them to be like, he's played 20 games, which most of those add-ons are always really attainable. He's played 20 games, he gets 10 more caps at international level. It's normally those sort of things. So the idea is to delay some of that money to like 6 months' time, a year's time, right? Romano also pushed on with Tottenham and Genoa locked in talks to get Radu Dragusin deal done after official bid sent earlier today. 25 million euros, 5 million add-ons, spent on loan, talks on payment terms and final details now. So it looks like we're finally coming to an end of this. And I think I'm pretty safe to say this, boring saga. It's been mind-numbing at times, but it's done. So whether you're, a Levy fan, a Levy hater, or anything in between, it looks like it's getting done. And to be honest, this deal falls more so on Paratici said than it is Levy. So if you don't like Levy, not really anything to do with him, it's more Paratici, okay? But then again, you have to deal with the fact that Genoa might be a little bit more difficult. They might want to squeeze you for a few more quid or euros, because at the end of the day, the Italian league has no money. So if you can get as much as you can from the league that can give you money, you're going to take it. And then if you get Spence on loan, where I'd probably say Spurs are paying the majority of his wages, Genoa might go, yeah, we'll pay 20%. That's part of the deal for you. It works out. So, I think now, hopefully, we are not long in the afternoon. I think now we'll probably start to see a little bit more traction and start to see some of these hurdles finally get over. It's been painful. This, do you know what? When he signs, I'll be happy, but I won't be excited because I just think it's gone on for weeks now that it just drains you, doesn't it? I think that's fair to say. If it excites you, then there's nothing wrong with that. That's a good thing. I hope it does excite you. Just for me, doing this and talking about him as much. Oh, you feel a bit flat after a little while. But good news on that front. The other thing is though, when we push through this deal, is obviously you've got to look at, does Jed Spence actually want to go? And Alistair Gold did say that Spurs are trying to push through to complete a deal for Radu Dragusin ahead of Friday's Premier League deadline. So what that means is, if you want your player to play against Man United, I think we play on Sunday, right? If you want him to play, he's got to be registered by Friday. I think it's midday. I think it's Friday midday. Don't hold me exactly to that. But yeah, they have to be registered and signed off for them to be able to be a part of the squad. So Werner will be signed off, obviously. Should be a part of the squad, no issues. Dragusin, it's Tuesday. There's still plenty of time. But you'd ideally like to get him in a little training session, maybe 1 or 2 training sessions in that time. But he also went on to say that, understand there's still some work to do in fully convincing Jed Spence to go the other way. And like I said, he might want to stay in England. He might want to go to the Championship. He might fancy the Bundesliga. He did Ligue 1, so he's not opposed to going abroad. So that's the other key thing here. He's not opposed to going abroad. But he's a key part of this deal. And, Genoa obviously might say, we can guarantee your first team football, you're going to play week in, week out, all those things would be nice. But it's not guaranteed that he actually wants to move. So as much as, the deal is there or thereabouts, it's not always complete. So I still don't see it being an issue. I think Spurs would probably work around it if they needed to. But let's talk Eric Dier now, because I'm no offence, I'm kind of bored of talking about Radu Dragusin until we get a here we go, or he's landed in London. And by the way, people are tracking Werner's flight yesterday. It was a slow evening for you, wasn't it? Yeah, I feel your pain. It's nice to know he's landed, but it was a slow evening. Let's talk Dier, though. And it came from Florian Plettenberg, and he said that FC Bayern have directly spoken with Tottenham bosses about a permanent deal and agreed upon the parameters. An official offer for Dier has not been submitted yet. He's got some new details. He said the transfer fee probably less than €4 million. The contract will be 2025 with the option to extend for another year. Dier still waiting for a decision. So far, no hijack attempts for Dragusin. There has been occasional contact between Freund and Danso's management in recent weeks. So we know that Bayern are looking at a centre-back that can also sometimes play in midfield. So Dier can do that. Obviously, we know as Spurs fans, Dier's played midfield, and he's played at back, and he's played right back. So it's a cheap deal for Bayern. And I think what they might still look at a Paulinho, but they're looking at cheap deals. And then maybe a big deal. They've said that they can dig into their pockets if they need to. But I think if they don't need to, they'd rather just go and get an Eric Dier, who's going to cost them $2.5 million. And do you know what, for Spurs, it's a few quid at the end of the day for us. We didn't expect it. We talked about how Spurs were letting him go for free. And Bayern, going to take him on a permanent, suits us immensely. Absolutely immensely. It's a little bit of money. It frees up the spot. Dragusin's going to come in. He's going to be getting a lot more game time that, most Spurs fans seem to think that we only have 11 players. They're never injured, never suspended, never need a retained team. They're always fit and fresh to go. So, yes. Just to add a little bit on that, I read from Alistair Gold about the Jed Spence situation. He also mentioned how Napoli are interested in Eric Dier. And obviously, we know Napoli are looking at centre-backs. They're interested in Radu Dragusin for a little while. We know, I think he's been linked to AC Milan, he's been linked to Roma, Sporting Lisbon. Most of these teams need a centre-back, or they might be selling a centre-back and need to replace them. Ironically, he's just got a bit of a weird market because he's so cheap. Because he's 29, he's not, he's not over the hill or anything like that. He's in the middle of his prime. He's quite cheap. He's willing to move. Spurs are willing to move him. He's kind of one of those that he's not the sexiest deal in the world. I think that's fair to say. He's not the sexiest deal in the world. Mbappe to Real Madrid probably is one of the sexier deals. But he's a deal that you can do easily that makes sense. And to be honest, a lot of the Bayern players have spoke very highly of Eric Dier. And like I said, he's not a bad player. And ironically, going to Bayern, it's actually a really good move for him. So I'm really happy for Eric. And I hope he does get done, because actually it's a really good move for Eric. He goes to be Harry's out there. He's got a mate out there. To be honest, a lot of the Bayern squad actually talk. You can see the interviews. They speak English as well, so it's an easier transition than it would be maybe to a Genoa, right? So I hope he does get his move. I hope Jed Spence gets a move that he wants. It may not be the Genoa move. Hopefully he gets a move that he wants, that he feels like suits him in his career. And hopefully the Radu Dragusin scenarios and the chaos of it all is finally coming to an end. And yes, it's 2 in. There's still more work to be done. Midfielder still needs a lot more work. That is a very weak area. We still need another centre-back, to be honest. We're not going to get everything. But I think we get another midfielder. And if we do get another centre-half, I think it's at the end of the month where it's a little bit cheaper. Just a little update on the FA Cup as well. Yes, Spurs were pulled for the FA Cup 4th round yesterday. We pulled not a bad draw, actually. Man City at home. Just grow up. How are we pulling Man City? We've had 3 cup games this year. Burnley, Fulham and Man City. We must have really pissed off the footballing gods that you've got that as a draw, that injury crisis. I don't know what we've done. We must have annoyed someone along the way. But yes, it's a very exciting draw. It's at home. You know, it's a team that you're probably going to have to come across at some point, right? And actually, you're better off getting them out of the way early doors than you would be later on in the tournament. Yes, we're maybe not so amazingly fit, but we are getting fitter as the month goes by. You know, Solomon's supposedly returning to training, I think, this week, which is good. A little bit of good news there for Solomon. Happy to have that news hit our channels. You know, Maddison not far back. Romero's a few weeks away, but you never know, he might be fit. But also, Dragusin's going to be hopefully here with Van der Ven. You've got a centre-half pairing that can play against City. So, yes, a little bit of exciting news there. But anyway, guys, at the end of the video, I hope you enjoyed. Drop a like on the video if you did. Hit me in the comment section below. Your thoughts and feelings about the Radu Dragusin deal. You sort of see how the deal works. Your thoughts and feelings about that. Spence going the other way. Dier potentially to Bayern, but also having Napoli having interest in him. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and hit the bell notification for more. But anyway, guys, that's in the video. I'll see you all very, very soon. Take care, guys.